Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's NECC matchup between Eastside Blazers and your Fremont Eagles. Well, tonight we've got these two teams battling an NECC conference. I'm here with longtime good friend Justin Bach. Justin, tell me, what can we expect in tonight's game?
Well, thank you for that introduction, Eric. Eastside is a team that's currently kind of, I guess you'd say, in rebuild mode. Currently, they're 5-8 and 0-5 in the conference. Meanwhile, Fremont's 8-6 and 4-2 in the conference. Eastside last year, coming off a phenomenal season where they were 25-2 overall, 13-1, and tied Central Noble for the conference championship. But they did graduate all 5 starters in Gabe Trevino, Hugh Henderson, Owen Willard, Fry, I think it's Tanner Fry, I don't know, and Nick Snyder. So 5 starters for Eastside. Graduated and they're rebuilding. They do have one significant player back from last year, and Santino Brewer. He's an athlete. He's a skilled player. Be difficult for Fremont to contend with. Fremont, meanwhile, having a successful season, got off to a really hot start. Big win off of Wayne. From Wayne early on, and I think lately, they've run into some tough competition, having lost their last game to first place West Noble in the conference. So we'll see what happens, Eric. The last 4 times that Fremont and Eastside have played, they've split. They're 2-2, and all 4 games have been outstanding games. Last year was a double overtime win by Eastside. 4 years ago, Cameron Colclaser, as a sophomore, hit a buzzer beater to beat Eastside by a point, and the 2 games in between they split. Both of them, Fremont getting big leads, one they held on and one they didn't. So this is always an outstanding game between 2 teams that know each other well. And I would say there's not a lot of love lost. It's usually a physical game, but it's usually a fun one. Hope we get that same thing here tonight.
Well, I could say you've obviously done your research. That was encyclopedia of information there. Well done, my friend. Fremont's led with 3 scores right around the 12-point mark. Ethan Bontrager, Connor Slee, Brody Falk, all averaging right around 12 points each. So it's a well-balanced team for Fremont. Hopefully we'll be able to get off to a good start tonight and get a victory. We're getting ready in just a few seconds for the introduction of tonight's lineups and the national anthem. So I'll turn it over to our PA announcer, Ben Roeder, here to get things started. Yeah.
No, it's all.
I tried learning that. That might be that
I'm going to critique your broadcast.
In real time?
Absolutely.
Out?
Jamie's out. Mark's out. You're about her. You're firing off. Mark. Mark's on the mic up there. Mark's firing.
We're having some problems with the PA here at the Eagles Nest, so I want to go over those lineups real quick. For Fremont, we've got Beeman, Folk, Blue, Slee, and Bontrager. And for Eastside, Minnick, Brewer, Reed, Johnson, and Mahler. Jump ball controlled by Fremont. Connor Slee with the ball. Fremont passing it around. Skip pass. Brogan Blue with the first basket for Fremont.
Well, we'll see how Eastside chooses to play today. Brewer with the ball out front. Coach Bentley at Angola and at Westview and here at Eastside hasn't really generally had real lively. Corbin Beeman with the attempt to the charge. He does that really well, tries to take those charges out front. Here he gets called for the block. Coach Bentley generally hasn't had what we might call lively offenses, more of a ball control, tight-fisted possessions, and that's kind of been the case for them this year as they average 37 points per game.
Minimize possessions. Try to win a low-scoring game. Bad miss there by Eastside. Folk takes the rebound, brings it down for Fremont. Bontrager thinks about it. Good pressure on the outside by Eastside.
And that's absolutely what you'll see from them. Coach Bentley teaches a real strict defensive system. Bontrager, who's shooting just over 40% from three for the year, hits a three from the top of the key, and Fremont takes a 5-0 lead. Number 10, Minnick with the ball, passes over to Moffler, who drives and hits the left-handed layup. Nice take down the middle of that zone. Slee advances to passes to Bontrager, Beeman over to Falk. Falk looks to split the gap, throws up a little bit of a wild shot, and number 10, Minnick, comes away with the rebound. Brewer puts up a three. Beeman comes down with the rebound. While Santino Brewer is an excellent driver, creative with the basketball. I think Fremont will probably be okay with him if he shoots a number of threes. Eastside should not be okay with Connor Slee shooting a number of threes.
Right, if we start making shots like that, it's going to be a tough game for Eastside. Fremont, a good outside shooting team, and when we catch fire, it's going to be difficult for Eastside to stay in the game with that low-scoring mentality.
Nice take by Loden Johnson for Eastside for 2. Yeah, I can guarantee that Coach Bentley won't be happy with that closeout, giving two straight three-point shooters a lot of space. Brody Falk with the hard drive, scores off at 2 feet, and Coach Bentley's going to go ahead and call timeout. 2.5 minutes into the game, 10-4 lead Fremont.
You were absolutely right about that timeout. Coach Bentley right now doesn't look happy in the huddle. He seems to be talking a little aggressively.
Well, he's known for a calm demeanor when things are going poorly. So I think this actually, from what I've seen out of him over the years, I think he's doing pretty well. 'Cause he can't be happy with the defensive awareness. So let's be honest. Fremont's goal, they're going to shoot threes, they're going to drive the lane. And right now, Eastside's taking neither away. It seems like one of those would be at least a priority. 2 would be great. None is not good.
I don't think giving up 10 points in the first 2.5 minutes of the game was the game plan for Eastside.
Quick math, what would that be for the entire game?
Oh, that's a lot.
All right, Minnick's going to go ahead and pass the ball in as Santino Brewer brings it up the court. Beeman's going to put that up top pressure. Number 22, Ryder Reed with the ball. Also an excellent baseball player, Ryder Reed. And Brewer, again, nice little floater over Gage Cope, one of those shot blockers that Fremont does have on their squad. Bontrager looks at the ball reversal, throws it back to Colton Guthrie. Beeman with the ball up top, back to Bontrager. Pump. That's a Bontrager special right there. That step back 3.
Nice shot by Bontrager. 13 points already in the game for Fremont. Off to a really good start.
According to the stats we were provided today, Fremont as a team is shooting just over 40%, which really is outstanding for a high school basketball team. In the games that they've won, they've shot well. In the games they've struggled to shoot. So this team will go as their three-point shooting goes. And Ethan Bontrager, I tell you what, Eric, I've seen that over the last few years. If he's in a rhythm, that step-back 3 is pretty deadly. I'd say that's his go-to shot. Fremont inbounds the ball. Beeman's got it up top. Pressure by Ryder Reed. Eastside playing their traditional man-to-man. We have a foul, I think, on Santino Brewer with the body. Ball's inbounded to Gage Cope, who passes it back to Ethan Bontrager. If I accidentally call Ethan Bontrager Scoop, that's because that's his basketball nickname. Guthrie with the 3, a little bit long, and Connor Slee fights for the rebound. Kicks it out to Beeman, who swings it back to Slee. This is not a good idea for Eastside right there. You cannot give Connor Slee too many of those. Bontrager misses a putback. Gets the rebound, gives it to Guthrie for 2.
Great job on the boards there by Fremont. Just relentless. Keep battling, getting second and third shots. That's exactly what we want to see from the Eagles.
Well, Eastside, kind of a low-scoring team. Again, 37 points per game. I don't think it's ideal for them to get down 9 a little over 4 minutes into the game. They're not a team that's really going to come back, I don't think, on most teams. So Coach Bentley is imploring his team to attack more offensively and I think probably be a little bit tougher. 13, Brody Falk back into the game for Corbin Beeman. Brody always takes a break about 3 minutes into the game. He's asthmatic, gets his puff, and he's ready to go for the rest of the game. No idea, dude.
All right, now Fremont's got the ball. Great pass on the inside to Falk. Spin move. Cope, good hustle. Again, second opportunities for Fremont.
Guthrie had a good look, just missed the 3. Ryder Reed brings the ball up the floor, kicks it over to Minnick. Good pick by Moffler. Ball over to Santino Brewer on the left wing. Brody Falk's really hounding him. Gets around the second defender, kicks it to Minnick. Short on the 3, and Gage Cope rips the rebound down, kicks ahead to Brody Falk. Hopefully the missed 3s by Colton don't make him become hesitant. He's a good shooter. It's a good drive and kick. Cope will be going to the line for 2 free throws.
I really like the aggressiveness Fremont has on offense, of taking it to the hole, kicking it out, trying to find a shooter. I think this is just about the perfect start for the Eagles, scoring 15 points. And we're, 2 minutes to go, a little over 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Excellent start for the Eagles.
Gage Cope hits his first free throw. It's also a good sign. And he hits his second. Coach Stuckey calls a quick timeout. Fremont up 17-8 with 2 minutes and 48 seconds left here in the first quarter. What do you think of this start, Mr. Wyrick?
I think it's just about the best start we could imagine. We're up 9 points, still in the first quarter. And we want to remind you guys to look up at the top of the screen. I believe you'll see the sponsors at the top of the screen. Please make sure that you visit the sponsors. And they're great supporters of Fremont Athletics, so please visit them and purchase from their business.
Before we get too far into this game, we want to make sure to send our thoughts and prayers out to the Falk family. A huge member of our community right now in the hospital, and everyone's thoughts and prayers are with Judy Falk. All right, Reed brings the ball up for Eastside as they start this possession. I have to think this is an important possession for Eastside. They don't score here. Fremont goes down and scores and turns us into a double-digit first quarter game. Certainly not the script Coach Bentley was looking for. Brewer jab steps, dribbles back to the top of the key, drives, gets swallowed up by 4 Eagles. Bontrager comes down with the rebound. Kicks it ahead to Colton Guthrie. Kicks it back to Scoop. Connor Slee skip pass to Colton Guthrie, who throws a nice pass down low. Cope, who reverses it. And up top, Brody Falk misses the long three. And Colton Guthrie comes down with the offensive glass. Boy. You heard me say boy.
Connor Slee with the three, and again, multiple opportunities for the Eagles. They've really done a good job of controlling the boards on both ends. Eastside getting 1 shot. Fremont seems to be getting 2 or 3 shots every time down the floor.
I'm going to suggest the scouting report did not say leave Connor Slee wide open. If it did, I would suggest a new author. Here we have second foul on Santino Brewer, I believe. That's another bad plot twist for Eastside. Coach Bentley's leaving Santino in the game with those 2 fouls. Minute 19 left. Brody Falk brings the ball up the court. Let's see if Eastside can keep better track of Bontrager and Slee in his perimeter shots. Minnick playing some physical defense with Connor. A little too physical. Chested him out of bounds. Gets called for the foul. Bontrager drives down left hand and puts in the shot. Right there's why we call him Scoop, Eric. That's his favorite shot, that little scoop shot around the rim. It's tough to block. It's kind of sneaky. Often made Coach Stuckey mad last year, but you know what? I think he's come to grips with it. It's a nice little shot for Ethan. Reed kicks the ball over to Moffley, who gives it to Brewer. And Brewer to Lehman. Back to Minnick. What do you think? Who wears glasses like that? Like Minnick's glasses? Kurt Rambis, our production manager threw out Kurt Rambis. There's no tape on those, Drew. And I would say, I don't know Lehman real well, but I would suggest he's probably more athletic than Kurt Rambis was.
I think we might be more athletic. 25 seconds to go in the quarter. Fremont up 22-8. Eastside, I would say, probably desperately needs a basket here to close out the quarter. Come out of this quarter with something positive. It has just about gone Fremont's way in every facet of the game.
Yeah, I would say getting on pace to give up 100 points when you're a defensive-minded team is not a good start.
Right.
All right, Minnick takes ball to bounds and kicks it in a weird diagonal pass to Brewer. Not guarding Moffler. That's a three or in the lane, apparently. That will make Coach Stuckey grind his teeth for a moment. Brody Falk can hit that. Oh, a little bit short. And our quarter score is 22-10, a 12-point lead for Fremont.
Well, it sounds like a broken record, but that was just about a perfect quarter for Fremont. Able to hit threes, able to penetrate the lane, controlled the boards. I think they minimized turnovers there, so a great quarter for the Eagles. Hopefully we can get 3 more of those and come out with a victory.
I'll let April know.
So we've got, looks like 2 players with 2 fouls. Brewer for Eastside, and that's a big one because he may be their best player. And for Fremont, Beeman has 2 fouls. So those would be the only 2 people in foul trouble.
That's probably a minor miracle for Beeman. It always felt like he should have about 9 fouls. He's such an aggressive defensive player. He's at the top of that defense. He's constantly hounding the guy with the ball. He's looking to draw charges. It's a minor miracle. You know, we used to have a JV player at Fremont, Remy Crable, that we used to say got called for 1 out of every 7 fouls he committed. I don't know that Corbin's that aggressive, but he's not far off from that.
But that's what you want at the top of that zone, is somebody who's just going to be, for lack of a better word, a pest to the offense.
Yeah, well, he takes over after Cameron Colclaser played that for a little while. Two guys who you'd want up there at the top. Pest is a great word for it. All right, we begin the second quarter. Eastside's got the basketball. Minnick jab steps, goes back to the middle, kicks it over to Moffler, who passes to Brewer. Nice little pass down low, but Moffler can't quite handle it.
Good collapse there on the defense down in the post, force a turnover.
We'll see if the efficient offense from Fremont can continue. Beeman walks the ball into the front court. Back court, I'm sorry. Kicks it over. Nice pick from Falk and Beeman, or Bontrager. Yeah, I can't imagine the scouting report said don't guard Bontrager or Slee.
Especially after he hits his first 2 shots.
Yeah, frustration seems to be mounting. Brewer and Minnick not on the same page. We get a turnover back to Fremont. Boy, it seems like when Fremont just swings the ball and reverses it, Eastside's defense isn't recovering to those shooters, and they're giving a lot of good looks to Fremont's sharpshooters.
And to make matters worse,
Well, we got an offensive, it's offensive foul. It's an illegal screen on Brogan Blue. In my opinion, Eric, no good screen is set that's legal. You get caught once in a while, but. All right, Eastside with the ball and Reed with it. Coach Bentley shouting orders, getting Lame into the right spot. Kicks it over to Minnick. Minnick pump fakes. Caden Huffnagel into the game for Fremont. Plays some good defense and grabs a rebound. Kicks it ahead to Corbin. Beeman throws it kind of awkwardly to Blue in the middle. Brody drives baseline. Touch. Looks for, I don't know if it's a Huffnagel or Scoop, but the ball got deflected by Eastside. It'll be Fremont ball.
Fremont looking for Bontrager again to hit another 3.
Bontrager's up to 11 points here, a minute and a half into the second quarter. Looks like Coach Stuckey last year does this occasionally when he wants their team to change their defense or make them to become overly aggressive. It's not necessarily that he's looking to stall. He's looking to get them out of position and give Fremont a wide open layup. In fact, last year, that ball was tipped. It'll still be Fremont basketball. Last year, Fremont did this with Logan Brayson, made them come out and guard, made Eastside come out and guard Logan, who was able to drive through for a couple laps. Really kept them in a game when they had some foul trouble in the first half. And it looks like Eastside has changed. Not sure what that was. Huffnagel's ceiling underneath.
Yeah.
Yes, yep. Yes, it was.
You know, it's nice doing a game with somebody who was on the coaching staff for a couple of years. Great inside knowledge of what's going on.
Well, I have to be careful because Coach Stuckey will listen to this later on, and if I give away too many of his secrets, I'll have to deal with his wrath. So I got to be careful. So slap me, Eric, if I'm giving away something that belongs on a scouting report. I've got to assume that Connor Slee can shoot is not a surprise. I just got away from Ron Colclaser, who's in the crowd, former Fremont basketball assistant coach, former Fremont baseball assistant coach, and father of Fremont greats Jace Colclaser and Cameron Colclaser. There, Fremont missed a three, and it's going to be Eastside's ball out of bounds after a scrum for the rebound. 24, Loden Johnson re-enters for Fremont, and Colton Guthrie re-enters for Eastside, and Colton Guthrie re-enters for Fremont. Caden Huffnagel giving some good minutes. Ryder Reed brings the ball down the court. Eastside gets into its set. Minnick back to the middle. A little backdoor action, not available for Brewer. Moffler with the ball up top, kicks to Minnick for a wing three. In and out. Fight for the rebound between Slee and Brewer. Ball's going to stay with the East Side.
Fremont really aggressive on the floor, going after the loose balls, trying to get the rebounds. Like I've said earlier, they've dominated the board so far. Hopefully that'll continue for the rest of the game. Eastside penetrates, blocked by Cope, and it's Fremont ball.
I can't see because Joe Camp's in my way. All right, there I can see again.
Hard not to miss him.
Joe Camp, who has ties to both schools. Beeman drives in and kicks it back to Slee. Maybe should have looked for a shot there. I think he could have got that one.
Great pass.
Nice shovel pass. Colton Guthrie found Gage Cope.
Drove the baseline, little scoop pass to Cope, who's wide open underneath. Makes the easy shot. Back up to a 15-point lead with 4:24 to go in the half. Guthrie with the steal. Boy, a three here would just be a dagger. Pass to, nice try. Cope couldn't handle the pass. Good job, Fremont, getting back on defense. And a steal. There's that pesky defender.
Yeah, it was Corbin Beeman getting a steal. And, you know, he's improved that left hand, and he takes the ball in. Gets it stripped as he goes up, but it's still Fremont ball. Brody Falk going to inbound take the ball out of bounds here for the baseline. Baseline out of bounds. Gage Cope in the corner, looking for Bontrager up top, reverses it. Ball sticks with Guthrie. Nice little fake. Fakes to Cope, who was in the short corner, and a little scoop shot for two. Guthrie with 4 points now. Reed over to Brewer. You know, Fremont's done a nice job on Brewer. He's still scoreless, Eric.
Right. And Fremont offensively has just pretty much been able to do whatever they want. They've hit threes. They've been able to penetrate the lane for layups. They've made some nice passes inside. Just everything seems to be clicking offensively for the Eagles. And I'm not too sure, even if Eastside was playing well offensively, if they could keep up with us right now.
Yeah, we're really efficient. You know, this is just an Eastside school that's rebuilding right now. You know, last year they took down Central Noble, who was the conference favorite. Gave Central Noble their one loss, which was what allowed them to tie for the conference championship. Which it was just a really talented team, and you've just got a lot of guys for Eastside that are now getting more minutes than what they've ever had before, and asked to do things that they may not quite be ready for.
Right.
But boy, as well as Fremont's playing, both offensively and defensively, I bet they kind of wish they had that West Noble game back.
Well, you know, that's not unlike our Fremont team that graduated several seniors, right?
Yeah, last year we had 4 seniors, 3 starters, and then one of the first guys off the bench. Now, the difference is you've still got Bontrager and Falk and Beeman that played significant minutes last year. 202 started, so Fremont returns a core, but boy, they've gotten guys like Connor Slee and Gage Cope and Colton Guthrie and Huffnagel, Brogan Blues even playing more. All those guys have stepped up and are playing more minutes and really good basketball so far this year.
Yeah, I think most people are pleasantly surprised the job Coach Stuckey has done with this younger group. Not a lot of experience, and I think one of the things that a lot of people were worried about was the leadership. Last year's group had some amazing leaders, one being your son Ethan, and so I think some people at the beginning of the season were a little bit concerned where the leadership would come in. There was talent on this team, but the leadership was an issue, but that doesn't seem to be the case as the team's playing quite well.
Yeah, I think, after watching those guys play in practice and seeing the returning players that would be contributing these minutes, I don't think that anyone, that's that same baseline drive, shovel pass from Guthrie to Cope for a layup, a great look from Colton. Coach Bentley's going to be really mad that the guy on the top is not dropping down and taking that away, making Colton make a more difficult pass. But hey, if they're going to keep giving it, let's keep taking it. I think that's Brewer with the take. Ball did not fall. Nice take with the rebound. Scoop throws it back to Guthrie for the fairly deep 3, a little bit short. Slee fighting, just tenaciously fighting for the rebound. Moffler comes up with it.
Gotta love the effort on the boards. Even though they didn't come up with the rebound, they're battling every possession.
Yeah, and shots, really the outside shots are just not falling. In fact, I don't think that Eastside's hit a 3 in this game. Yep, there we go. 2 minutes to go, 31-16. Coach Stuckey has Connor pull the ball out. Here we go again. This is going to be that spread where we're not looking to stall. We're looking to get Eastside in a matchup and get a driving lane, get to the basket. People last year often, I think fans, even Fremont fans, were a little frustrated thinking there was stalling. But I think they're looking at controlling this and getting the right matchup, seeing what Eastside chooses to do. Often teams that are down big will kind of panic and foul, like we just got the 3rd foul on Brewer right there. I kept wanting to say Trevino. They'll foul, they'll get a little anxious, and they'll give you a wide open layup.
That's his 3rd foul right before halftime. That's a big foul. He's probably going to be out for the rest of the half, and if he gets a 4th early in this 3rd quarter, that'd be big trouble for Eastside.
Yeah, you just take away probably what I would assume is their leader, certainly their most experienced player. Ryder Reed out hounding Scoop out in the backcourt. Probably could have called him for a reach in there. Scoop keeps control of the ball. Slee's got it against Johnson, who, yeah, you could tell he did what we like to call wrestler defense. If you throw that chest and kind of stiff arm him a little bit. Sometimes wrestlers can get away with that in a pickup game, but you're not going to get away with that out front in a high school basketball game.
And again, Eastside has not been able really to keep Fremont out of the lane. They've been able to drive, penetrate, dish for the short shots to Cope or kick it outside for the 3 ball. There we go.
Well, and Slee goes strong with the left hand and leaves his defender kind of laying on the ground there for a 2. And it looks like Connor is I think he's up to 8 points for the game right now. 33-16, 50 seconds remaining in the half. Miller kicks it over to Reed. Reed's directing traffic. I get the feeling, Eric, I haven't seen Eastside play this year. I know some of these guys from other sports in previous years, but it really looks like Ryder Reed has kind of stepped into that leader for Eastside. He's directing players. He's handling the ball. He's defending at a pretty high level when he's on the ball. That's a kid who comes from a long line of athletes, and looks like in addition to baseball, he's going to be an excellent basketball player. Yeah, looks like Connor Slee for Fremont and Loden Johnson for Eastside got into it there. Yeah. There was some pushing, and I guess Connor got caught with the shove over on the sideline.
9 seconds to go in the half. Eastside's going to go to the line. Fremont's 9th foul, so he's going to have 1 in the bonus. Eastside only 6 fouls in the half. First shot, no good. Eastside player number 21 got inside and looks like Cope tipped it out. So Eastside's going to get another possession with 7.9 to go.
And how about this? They're bringing Brewer into the game with 3 fouls here for an offensive possession with just under 8 seconds to go. Moffler looking for Brewer.
Good defense.
Oh, yep. Yeah, the ball got deflected, nobody back, and Bontrager is going to put in the easy scoop shot, left hand, or right hand on the left side as time expires. Yeah! And Fremont goes into half, up 35-16, 19-point lead, which is a bigger lead, Eric, than what Eastside scored. That's kind of daunting when you're going down in that situation.
Yeah, more than doubled up on the scoreboard, so I'm sure there's going to be some strong words in the Eastside locker room. And we'll return here in a little bit for the second half.
All right, appreciate everybody tuning in. 35-16, big Fremont lead here at halftime. And Fremont has had a tough time against these Eastside Blazers as of late. Last year, lost in double overtime. The year before, lost by 1. And right now, a 19-point lead looks good. But these Blazers know how to play basketball. They're going to come back. So, at any rate, we're going to be back in just a few moments. We'll see you in a bit.
All right, back here at the Eagle Nest, we got about 3 minutes before the start of the half. We want to go through some stats. Fremont shot 14 of 23 from the field, 5-11 from the three-point line. Eastside only took 16 shots the entire half compared to Fremont's 14 made shots. Rebounding, as mentioned earlier, Fremont has really controlled the boards. Rebounding is Fremont 15. Eastside only had 5 rebounds at half. Another great stat for Fremont, only 2 turnovers in the first half. So near a perfect half for the Eagles, don't you think, Coach Bach?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Coach Stuckey has really been pushing his team to turn the ball over less. That's been the Achilles heel in games where we've lost. It's too many turnovers. So 2 is a great number. Eastside's 0 for 4. They haven't hit a 3. And Fremont also, like you said, 100% defensive rebounding percentage.
Yeah.
Eastside has no offensive rebounds. So, well, all of those numbers equate to a 19-point lead.
Right.
So if you're Eastside, if you're Coach Bentley, Eric, what are you doing at halftime? What's your goal here coming out the second half?
Well, I think they ought to start by maybe covering the three-point shooters, taking that away, because it's going to be really difficult catching up when they're making 2s and we're making 3s. So that might be a good place to start. Stop the penetration. Rebounding, there's just a lot of holes to fix right now.
Yeah, and I don't know, after watching the offense for half, I'm not sure where Eastside's offense comes from. Brewer Santino ended up with 4 points. I'm going to check to make sure I'm right here. Yeah, actually, Eastside has 16 points. They have 4 players with 4 points. So I guess you could say that Santino was one of the leaders, tied for leading scorer. But, he may struggle to penetrate. Eastside or Fremont's going to really cut off those driving lanes for him and double him, maybe triple him, quadruple him, make him kick it out, and make Eastside shooters hit some shots, which may not be their night tonight. At least they haven't shown evidence of that yet.
Right. As Eastside works the ball around, and we understand they're a patient offense, but at times it looked like they were almost unwilling to shoot. Had some open looks and didn't shoot and just continued to pass the ball around. And unfortunately for them, they either missed a shot and we got the rebound, or they turned the ball over, and that's why they ended up with 16 points for the half.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Coach Bentley cooks up here as we begin the second half.
I want to give a shout out to Matthew Teagarden, who did the national anthem before the game on his guitar. Felt a little bit like I was 1969,
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, just should have been wearing my tie-dye shirt and holding up a peace sign. But he did a great job with the national anthem. I know that was a lot of work for him. He practiced a lot of hours to get that down. Mrs. Spranger, who's our band teacher, she made sure that he had it down before he was able to play, and he did a great job.
Matt Teagarden's such a great kid. He was on my baseball team last year, and what a just a joyful spirit. The kid always has a smile on his face, so I was glad to hear him do so well on his guitar. All right, here we go. Fremont begins with the ball here in the second half. Bontrager down to Blue, kicks it around. Oh. Well, Slee threw it to Beeman, and Beeman did one of those tweener passes, kind of Bontrager / Slee, cut it in half, cut the distance in half, and really wasn't to anybody. So, Coach Stuckey's pulling up his belt buckle here to begin the second half. That's not the start that he wanted. All right, Brewer with the ball in the left wing. A multitude of fakes there before kicking it over to Lehman. Lehman to Moffler. Johnson over Reed. Reed looks to try to throw an entry pass that got tipped.
This is, East Side style of play is really going to work against them here because they need to score a lot quickly, and that's just not how they're made.
Slee goes baseline with the right hand reverse for 2. I tell you, Eastside's not done a real good job of cutting off baseline. Numerous baseline drives that have led to open threes, open dumps to the middle of the lane, and in that case, dump off to the middle of the lane. In that case, Slee got all the way to the rim. Yeah, I'm not sure that Coach Bentley said right before halftime, let's go out, gentlemen, and turn the ball over 3 times in a row.
The Fremont penetration, I think, initially kicked out. We hit some threes, so they started covering the threes, and that led to the inside passing to Cope, who got a couple easy bunnies inside with that baseline penetration. Ball out of bounds back to Fremont.
There's a situation where Scoop makes an outstanding drive in the middle, and he knew that Brogan was going to be there. It was a matter of exactly where. Number of things that Fremont does in practice, so when they drive, they know where each other will be, and you don't really have to look. Well, Coach Bentley waves his hands in disgust at that closeout. Connor Slee gets another comfortable three, and he hits another comfortable three.
Yeah, that's not the winning formula for Eastside. I hate to say that.
I mean, I guess if Connor's like a 40% three-point shooter, that, as Joe Camp would say, the percentages have to come back to earth at some point.
Yeah.
But I would say that's maybe over a season. I don't know that it's going to happen tonight. Speaking of Joe Camp, while we have a timeout here, 2 minutes into the first half, Fremont now holding a 40-16 lead. So Joe Camp, clouded up our vision there for a few seconds in the first half. Joe's got ties to both of these schools, having graduated from Eastside, actually in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
His horrific picture hangs on the walls where he's real skinny with his feathered back hair.
It is the legendary Q-tip picture.
Fremont students for generations, and I say generations plural because that's how old he is, have gone when they visited Eastside. They've saw it's kind of like a buried treasure. They go look for that to come back and tell tales of just how crazy he looks.
Yeah, his physique has changed slightly over the years. I think they struggle the most with the fact that he was once like a state caliber sprinter.
Is that a skill or a weight comment?
I think it's both.
And now he's taught here at Fremont for, I would do the math, it's got to be like 50 years. I don't know, it's something like that. He's actually an outstanding English teacher and has been since about 88.
Yeah, actually, I hate to say this, but I was hired 1 week before he was, so that makes me older than him. But yeah, I tell you what, he is a phenomenal teacher. We got to give him props for that.
Yeah, he is. I had the fortune to work with him for 19 years here, and phenomenal teacher that is really fun to ridicule, as you can tell. All right, Eastside inbounds the ball from under their own basket. Reed's got the ball up top, kicks it over to Brewer. Down to Lehman, nowhere to go. Brewer just has not found space. Slee deflects the ball out of bounds. Eric, is there a 24-point play in basketball? If so, Bentley needs to draw it up.
I don't think there is, but he could sure use one right now.
We need one of those circles out like they did for the MTV or whatever basketball thing where they had the circle center court for 24 points. We would just have to defend that circle.
The 10-point shot, in effect. Another turnover.
Well, that's what you're talking about. They work it around. Bentley's always been a ball control coach. Unfortunately, with this team, it just they're not attacking really much. It's led to a lot of turnovers, especially here early on in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's, like we said, that's not the recipe for them to get back into the game. Another Fremont turnover. Third quarter starting a little ragged here for both teams. Multiple turnovers for both teams, but when you've got a 40-16 game, that can happen.
I'm sure that Coach Stuckey feels a little bit better about turnovers now than he would in a tight game. I know looking ahead, Fremont has Prairie Heights this weekend, which will be a really big matchup after Prairie Heights pulled out a 1-point victory in the NECC tournament a couple weeks ago. So that'll be an outstanding game. Ooh, Santino with a really strong move in the post. A little bit of an elbow there. But Fremont stays strong, and off the glass we end up with a tied ball, which will stay here on the east side end of the court. Number 14, Nolan Baker checks in for number 24, Loden Johnson.
Want to remind Fremont fans that our last televised game, the last live cast game, is going to be Friday, February 17th, which will be Fremont Basketball Boys Senior Night.
And Santino Brewer hits the first 3 of the game for Eastside. That's that game, February 17th. We'll see. I think there's a potential that I may be announcing that game with my son, who may be coming back from Hillsdale. Announce that game. And I think, is that the Central Noble game?
Central Noble.
Central Noble. Could be a really big game in the conference. Boy, Brewer's creative in getting to the rim, but just can't get it to fall. Blue up ahead to Bontrager for 3. Nope. This one hard off the rim and off the stanchion.
That's got to be a lot of fun for you to do a televised game with your son, who played for the team last year. You coached for the team last year. So that should be a great game, and I look forward to all the knowledge that will be passed, all the intricacies that you guys will know about Fremont basketball.
Well, already today he's corrected me once. Beginning of the game and talking about the 5 players that graduated from Eastside last year, I couldn't remember Fry's first name, and I got a text that it's Logan. So he might be right. I'm assuming he's right. That sounds right.
I think you said Tanner.
Who graduated from Fremont about a decade ago.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll see if the 3 from Brewer sparks Eastside's offense. That was the first 3 of the quarter. 4 minutes in here for Eastside. Brewer kicks it in. Moffler with the ball. Looking for reversal. There's no one to reverse it. Kicks it back over to Brewer.
Fremont has yet to score this half, and Mike, is that correct? Did we have 40 at half?
No, we were up 9-2 at 35. We've scored 5 points, so it's a 5. It's a 5 to 3 quarter at this point.
More East Side style.
Yeah, and like you said, it's been ragged. Both teams have turned the ball over probably about as much in this quarter as they had in the game. Brewer's giving the head nod, trying to talk, trying to give some nonverbal communication to one of his teammates. Kicks it out to Baker, who turns it over, trying to throw it to Reed. Colton Guthrie with the steal and the easy 2.
Turnovers have definitely been a problem for East Side.
Colton Guthrie is an interesting kid, interesting player, varsity tennis player. Last year as a baseball player, actually started for the last half of the season, had a really good season on a sectional and a baseball team that went to the regional final. And now he's a skilled basketball player, who if we hadn't been senior heavy, probably would have played some varsity last year. And now he's getting into the rotation. He does a lot of good things.
Just haven't seen that intensity out of Fremont that we saw in the first half. They were on the floor diving for balls. They just seem a step slower, and that's understandable given a 21-point lead. About 3:26 to go in the third quarter. Fremont's got the ball down, and there's Guthrie again. Nice kick out. Fremont just moves the ball so well. Quickly, it's hard for the defense to rotate and adjust.
Beeman's going to slow it down for a second, pull Baker out. Now Guthrie's got it with Moffler on him. Coach Tookie directing traffic, getting guys in certain spots. Again, they space this out. They're looking for a driving lane or a mismatch. They may have it right here. Beeman is incredibly quick. And right there it is. They got the mismatch with Baker trying to guard Beeman, and Beeman gave a little crossover and right to the rim for a left-handed layup.
That was beautifully explained. Have you ever thought about coaching? For those of you who are listening, Mr. Bach here is a legendary Fremont coach. He's coached basketball, longtime baseball coach.
There was some football way back in the day, but I think you're using the term legendary pretty loosely, Eric.
You're just being modest.
Brewer takes a 3. Looked good, a little long. Beeman attempts to save it. Great hustle. Can't quite get it done. When I see Beeman go towards those ropes over there, I remember Cameron Colclaser would do that, always jump over those. Would make us nervous. He's going to catch a foot one of these days and face plant, and we'd be without Cameron for a while.
I think he was just showing off.
Oh, Beeman's a similar type of athlete. Eastside kicks it out to Reed. Swings it over to Brewer. Brewer with Guthrie. Going to try to force him left. He escapes right. Goes hard to the rim. Goes hard through him. Cope was there. Wasn't really in defending position. They actually hit shoulders.
Call a charge!
Our production director really wants the charge called.
It wasn't me. That was somebody else.
He did lower his shoulder. I mean, he definitely initiated the contact there.
I'm trying to be unbiased here, Eric. Nice little dump in. Lehman with the shot. Gets his own rebound. Second shot. And Brewer and Lehman lose it fighting for the offensive rebound.
Yeah, there certainly was a lot of contact initiated by Brewer. If I was the opposing coach, I would say that Cope wasn't in defending position.
That's legal if you're the Canadians.
Guthrie with the ball over here, the left side. Doesn't take the lane, kicks it back out to Slee.
Again, I think we're going to look for a mismatch. Slee goes around Lehman, goes to the rim, and scores 2.
I think Eastside's a little bit hesitant to come off the shooters because of what Fremont did in the first half.
Right.
So I guess, again, you take something away, something else becomes available.
Well, you know, it's been layups and three-pointers for Fremont. And I think that's the way Coach Stuckey likes it.
Yeah. Having been around him a bit, I can attest to that. All right. Eastside inbounds the ball. Lehman over to Reed. Guthrie's been on the ball quite a bit because of where he is in the defense. Well, that ball just about fell right into Beeman's hands. Brewer comes up with it. And now Beeman's on top.
Ooh, nice little crossover. Brewer passes it, gets his own pass back. Really fighting. He's fighting Cope. He's fighting Bontrager, who are longer, taller, but you know what? He does just keep fighting.
Yeah, his aggressiveness has really picked up in this third quarter, and I think it might be a little bit of frustration.
45 seconds left in the third quarter. Brody Falk returns the game for Connor Slee. Brewer inbounding the ball. Kick it into Moffler, the elbow, who looks like he's got a little lane. Cope contests. Moffler misses, but Brewer once again just scrapping for the ball. That ball goes off of it. Probably looks like Scoop's heel.
So again, for I think the 17th time in this possession, Eastside will inbounds the ball
From underneath the basket.
And Brewer's just really trying to put this team on his back. He's trying to get the rebounds. He's trying to do it all right now.
Kick it to Lehman in the lane, who kicks it out
to Johnson. Johnson into Moffler, who gets fouled. I'm going to guess that's Beeman. Get a little bit handsy.
Brogan Blue will return to the game. Little
side note,
I
saw Brogan Blue today on a visit with Trine with one offensive coordinator,
Jake Kinsey. So I think there may be an opportunity that Brogan may be playing a little football at Trine. He's a standout wide receiver for Fremont's football team. And just a fantastic human being.
Yeah, Brogan is part of FIST, which is Forever Improving Steuben County Together. It's a youth philanthropic organization. Great kid, and a really good receiver too. Great hand.
Brody Falk drives the baseline. Once again, this is becoming pretty redundant. And pulls up strong for 2.
And there's a second three-pointer
of the night. This time it's for Loden
Johnson right before the end of the third quarter.
Going into the fourth, Fremont 48.
Eastside 24.
Once again, please check the top of the screen to look at our sponsors. Great contributors to Fremont Athletics. You know, we're on the east side of the gym here, looking across the gym. It's good to see some Fremont legends. I see Bob Head over there, a longtime math teacher. I think he coached just about every sport at Fremont.
You know, I
maybe this is, I don't know if this is right or wrong. I feel like Bob Head actually got his
start teaching. That wasn't Eastside. I think that was Dan Carroll. But Bob Head started teaching, I think, like
1966. I had him as a teacher I had my parents in the early 70s. He had me in the early 90s. I came back and taught with him for about 15 years.
Wow.
So I think all that math, I think
Bob's about 127 years old.
I was going to say 1966 seems a little late.
But he was a legendary math teacher, fantastic math teacher.
speaking of legends, I see Roger Probst, of course, in the gym, just inducted into the Coaching Hall of Fame. And I think I saw a text that you sent to him where if we had an AD's Hall of Fame and a Teaching Hall of Fame and just a Hall of Fame for human beings, Roger Probst belongs in there. I bragged for the 25 years that I coached at Fremont, the last 15 years under Roger, that I was lucky enough to coach under the best athletic director in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, I think when he was teaching, he may have been our best teacher, and then he may have been our best baseball coach. It's your second best. And a phenomenal AD as well. So he could have reached Hall of Fame status in all three and would have deserved all of it.
And Eric should know, Eric was talking about my coaching. Eric Wyrick is up back-to-back, three back-to-back regional qualifier, right? Conference champions. Three-time conference champions in girls golf. It's kind of a dynasty you've created in girls golf around here. But again, under the leadership of Roger Probst, couldn't have asked for a better AD. So some things have happened in the 36 seconds since the fourth quarter has begun. I don't know what those things are, but it's now 50-24, and Lehman is at the free throw line where he makes the first free throw.
Yeah, we kind of lost it there. Wasn't sure there was a game going on, but sure enough, they blew a whistle and there was something going on.
As Lehman takes the second free throw, I see Eric Huffnagel sitting over there, who was just inducted into the Alumni Community Member Hall of Fame. Somebody who's graduated from Fremont, played sports here, goes on to do great things in the community. Of course, his son plays for the basketball team and is an excellent third baseman and pitcher for the baseball team.
Yeah. And we had the Hall of Fame last weekend, and it was my great pleasure to see another Hall of Fame member, Judy Kleckner, who is a longtime treasurer here at the school. And she was kind of my home away from home mother. She helped me and Mr. Camp out when we were very young and green and stupid. And she helped mold us into something which wasn't so stupid.
I thought you were going to say into the mature people you are now, but that would have only been a few years ago that happened. All right, so back to action. It's 50-25. Fremont still holds a ×2 advantage in this game. Brewer again working hard in the post, kicks it out to Moffler, who misses the three. Beeman, as he's known for, comes down with the defensive rebound. Kicks it over to Slee. Slee sizing up Moffler. Driving baseline again, who kicks it out to Brogan. Brogan has got a strong right hand, and when he decides to drive to the right, he goes with strength and authority, as he did right there, drawing the foul. Brody Folk's going to inbounds the ball. Scoop cuts towards him, gets the pass from Brody, and they're going to sort themselves out. They may slow the game down here just a little bit, or throw it away, one of the two. Now to see if we get back down on the defensive end. That pass went right to Coach Stuckey, who walks towards the baseline, collecting himself.
In disgust.
Reed kicks the ball over to Miller. Miller to Moffler. Moffler. Johnson. Back down to Moffler in the post with Slee on him. Slee's really good at using those hips and with the hands up, saying, I'm not fouling, even though I kind of am. So really, he's good at it. And he does it well. He gets away with it. That's why he can defend guys that are bigger down in the post.
Hands up in the air, but he's got his lower body pushing the post player out, trying to get him out of position, which, in my opinion, is good defense.
I always wanted to get away with that up top.
Oh.
But it never worked too well. Beeman, I think, would like some of those things to go his way.
I'm sure.
Doing a little bit of a four-corner weave. And again, it opens up the driving lane. Folk tries to reverse. Brogan Blue. Wow, Brogan Blue fights it between three Eastside guys, gets the rebound, but can't quite get the foul. Here's Reed in the corner for three, and Blue secures another rebound. That's Brogan Blue always will fight. Here's Connor Slee for an open three. Shockingly, this one does not go down.
It's hard you see this in professional all the time. A professional team gets up to a big lead, and they just lose a little bit of energy. It's doubly or triply hard for high school kids when they've got a big lead to maintain effort. And I think Fremont's done a decent job But there's just no hurry anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you hold. Ooh. Brewer shoots a three that was, from our perspective, we could see immediately that was going to be long left. Holding a team to 25 points in 3.5 quarters is an excellent defensive effort. Falk is kind of navigating the lane, gets blocked. Brewer picks up the ball.
Spin move in the lane and kicks it out to Moffler, who has a 3-rim out.
Nice block.
Yeah, Johnson gets blocked by Blue after the offensive rebound. Beeman kicks it to Slee, who drives the baseline for a while. Oh, just circles out. Slee claps hands. That's a rare miss for him driving to the hoop. Once again, though, baseline drive.
Yep.
You know, in previous years, I would have expected Coach Bentley to be going wild. I think he understands this is a team that's just going to need to continue to grow.
Brody Falk comes around the side of the posting Moffler and steals that Brewer pass. Excellent defense.
Be interesting to see just how many turnovers Eastside has had. And, you know, Fremont's caused a lot of them. Falk dribbles down. Again, Fremont, no need to hurry.
That ball got tipped. Yeah, Coach Bentley's teams, you know, for so many years at Angola, last year at Eastside, his teams are really known for taking care of the ball. It was tough to get turnovers. It was tough if you got down by a few because they could talk about bringing the game to a grinding halt if they wanted to. Yeah. They were so strong with the ball that you weren't going to be able to turn them over. So, you know, I'm sure that's the style he's always coached. He'd like to get that team to that point. I think it's going to be a year-long process.
Yeah, he's got an inexperienced team, and he's working with them. And you know, when you're down, you tend to want to push, and maybe play a little faster than you want to, and that usually results in some turnovers.
Oh, great. Boy, Guthrie has found Cope a handful of times today. Well, if you think about the guys that played for Eastside the last few years that have graduated, you know, you look at guys, you know, like Gabe Trevino and Owen Willard and Hugh Henderson. I mean, those guys were tenacious defenders. They were guys in the weight room,
and you just could see it.
They would use that offhand to direct you when you had the ball. I mean, they were very physical, and that's not the brand I'm really seeing out here tonight. But I know it's a brand that Coach Bentley will work towards.
Right, in just a year or two, he's got a program to build.
Coach Tookie calls timeout. We have 3 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. It is
50-25.
So I think that means that the score this quarter is 2-1. I think it was 48-24, Eric, at the end of 3. So this is why we're talking about things like Judy Kleckner raising you and Eric Huffnagel having played football at Fremont, because there's really not a whole lot going on right now.
Well, I could scan the other side of the bleachers and try to find somebody else, I guess.
Well, I've talked about, some of those Eastside guys, and, Owen Willard's a guy who's playing baseball. He's pitching for PFW. Fremont has a couple former former athletes who are playing collegiate sports. So this team last year graduated Logan Brace, who was an outstanding and all-conference performer. He's playing basketball at Manchester. And Gable Pentecost, who, again, another excellent player who is pitching for Taylor University. In fact, he's out in Arizona right now as they've gotten started with their season. He's a guy who's going to be a starter, in the starting rotation for Taylor. So 2 guys that I had the pleasure to coach and have continued their athletic career.
He had the blessings of a really good senior class last year with Nick Miller and your son. Really good baseball players.
Yeah, we had and you know what, and better people like Sam Verdon and Jake Allman, who was an excellent golfer, and Berlew, another basketball player and golfer. The Friend brothers who played. We just a lot of athletes who are involved. All right, Slee kicks it over to Cope. Cope throws it to Miller, who throws it to Slee. I think may need to
refamiliarize them with the colors they're wearing.
Colorblind, maybe?
All right, Slee's dribbling out front. He's got Lehman on him, looking over to Coach Tookie, and over to see if there's a count.
Nope.
Got a little wild at the left hand and ended up losing control. Tried to regain, dribbled it out of bounds. crowd's imploring them.
Teamwork. I don't know exactly what that means.
That would be one person. But, yeah.
Gotta love the random
Shouts from the crowd. Oh, Reed dribbles to the elbow, picks it up.
kicks it over to Miller, passes it to Lehman in the corner. Back to Reed. Ryder Reed was actually the pitcher who beat Fremont in the NECC Tournament Championship last year. And Fremont played Eastside for the second consecutive year in the Conference Tournament Championship. Pitched an outstanding game.
I'm surprised you would bring that up. Maybe some scarring.
No scarring.
it was an outside. We beat Eastside in the regular season with kind of smoke and mirrors.
We pitched Ethan, who
Tops out at a hefty 75 miles an hour.
we beat him with changeups and curveballs, and unfortunately,
Our heat.
Gable had pitched the night before, and we had to go back at them with Ethan the second time, which is always bad news when a guy's already thrown 7 innings against you, and it's smoke and mirrors. And Eastside, hit well that second game, but I had a lot of respect for Ryder. He pitched an outstanding game. I don't know why I'm giving you the microphone. You probably have nothing to add to the baseball conference championship from last year. Brewer shooting his second free throw, and it goes in. So we have a 2-2 fourth quarter score with 1:43 remaining. Caden Huffnagel checked back into the game. Scoop dribbles the ball at the top with Ryder Reed guarding him.
So we got about a minute and a half to go. We want to remind you that our last telecast is Friday, February 17th, and that will be senior night for our boys basketball team. So make sure you tune in for that. Justin will be here, hopefully with his son Ethan, and that'll be a great listen. So February 17th, Friday night, tune in.
I look forward to that. Connor Sleet drives to the elbow and gets fouled by Lehman. That is Eastside's second foul of the half. Eric, I'm going to say here what I've
Said to you as you have officiated many middle school basketball games, call it both ways.
8-2, yeah, that's seems unfair.
but sometimes you just have different styles of play. Caden Huffnagel handles.
The difference being, this would be 1 minute to go in the fourth quarter, and you tell me that 1 minute before the game starts.
Well, I just think it's important to remind you of that. I don't want to see any bias come out, which you can always tell in the first call of the game. Very first call. So I like to give you the reminder before that first call. Brewer with a little Dirk Nowitzki off of 1 foot fadeaway. 50-28, 35 seconds remaining. We'll see if Fremont holds or if they choose to continue to attack. And Bontrager chooses to attack, and apparently that was
Was a poor decision. Charge.
at the rim. I think, Eric, I just heard, I just heard call it both ways and a 9-2. So the fans up 50-28 are not satisfied. Miller throws it over to Baker, who misses a 3. And Lehman's called for the hold on the defensive rebound. So Lehman's second foul. Slee will inbound it with 10 seconds remaining. Looks like Fremont will move to 5-2 in the conference and 9-6 overall with this 50-28 win.
Congratulations to Coach Stuckey and our team. Another good game, fast start. That's exactly the way we wanted it in this game. So excellent job by the Eagles.
Well, this is we signing off. Eric Wyrick.
Justin Bach. Thanks for listening.
Anything else, Mr. Kiesbert? All right, I think he did. The next game, yep, here we go.
All right. Thank you so much again to Eric Wyrick and Justin Bach. One more time, Fremont wins 50-28 here against Eastside, avenging a couple years of losses. And we will see you on Friday, February 17th, as our Fremont Eagles host Central Noble Boys Basketball Senior Night. And we'll see you then, folks. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody.